and I know we disagree a little bit
we
here.
do.
By saying those words, you open the door for that kind of criticism, and it's just unnecessary.
Well, we're going to disagree.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm going to 1,000% disagree with Ian as far as he took that.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Basically, what he said is we're blocking out the noise. He said we're blocking out the noise, but because he said turn the TVs off and don't listen to the outside, we're going to take it a step too far. And I guarantee you, Khalil Mack isn't grabbing him by the throat and saying, turn the TVs on. If 100%. He's grabbing him by the throat, he's saying, let's get the offense going a little bit, not watch the TVs and listen to what everybody's saying about you. That is ridiculous.
I struggle. Is it the word trying, or is it trying to turn? I mean, all he's saying is we don't care about the bloviating gas bags, as Sarah Spain always says. Great phrase. At ESPN. That's what he's saying. He's like, we're turning the TVs off because we don't care about the idiots that are talking about it. We care about being in the locker room. I feel like we've gotten caught up on this, like the semantics of what he said here, when all he's saying, trying to turn the TVs off because we don't care what they have to say.
And I think to Trey's point, you're saying the more you say, the more you can be criticized about.
Correct. So just don't go give people the ammunition. Is my only point.
I get what you're saying with that.
Because you know how this is going to play with certain people.
And you know what? If they turn the TV off, then he shouldn't hear it and shouldn't care.
Correct.
The thought process that he should leave them on and listen to the criticism, I think
that's ridiculous.
Is crazy.
Yeah.
Is absolutely, they're doing exactly what they should be. And you know what? If they lose and they regress, that'll be on Mitch, that'll be on the offense, and that'll be on Nagy. But the one thing I'm not doing, if I'm any of them, is saying, oh, let me take notes on what, all the former quarterbacks or analysts are saying, or let me listen to the fans screaming. Let me break those notes into Nagy and if I don't do that, if I'm listening, if it affects me, I'm not tough. It is the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard, to sit there and say you're not tough because you want the TVs turned off and you want to stay all within yourselves. That's crazy.
One of the things that I think you guys have said a lot that makes a lot of sense about Mitchell Trubisky is that he's viewed under a certain microscope because of where he was selected and because of the quarterbacks they didn't select.
Well, also because he's playing poorly. I mean,
correct. All of that together, I think, it has affected the perspective with which we look at this comment. Because just coming in and saying, trying to turn the TVs off, to me, it feels like we are breaking down a phrase that is just saying, we don't care about the media. If he was a successful quarterback, if he was right now where Deshaun Watson is, we would laugh about it. We wouldn't care. Frankly, if he was Baker Mayfield, we wouldn't care about it. We care about it because it's Mitchell Trubisky. He's not playing well, and now this feeds into a narrative that wants to be created that he's soft.
Well, the soft thing, I have no part of. That's ridiculous.
We're throwing that one out.
Yeah, that makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah. The point is, to what you just said, phrasing matters. How you say things matters. If you had just said, I'm trying to block out if he said, look, we're just trying to block out the noise, fine. But when you actively say, man, I'm going to try and get some of these TVs turned off because I don't want to hear it, you're creating the noise. You are giving people ammunition to make the noise that you don't want to hear, and that's the thing he shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, but we're all married men at this table, right? Like, tone matters.
I mean, still,
the way you just said, I'm trying to block out turn the TVs off to block out the noise. That does feel one way. When you just come in and say, trying to turn the TVs off to block out the noise, like his tone matters to me. To me, it's just
unnecessary. Like, I'll give you an example. When Colin Kaepernick, back when he was playing, and still pretty good, he used to regularly on his Twitter feed, he used to like and retweet negative comments about himself, and he told people, well, I'm doing that for motivation. I'm doing that as my motivation. And we had Steve Young on, and Steve's like, how about you spend more time in your playbook as motivation? It just seems like this is an unnecessary thing for him to add to a narrative that doesn't need. Like, forgive me, when Tom Brady said, when they were asked about retirement, he's like, he could have just, guys, I'm on to the Browns or whatever the game is, not worried about it. He went on this long, reflective 45-second answer, and we're all like, oh, clearly there's something else here going on. He could have nipped it in the bud, just said, I'm on to the Browns, we're not talking about it.
But I guess at the end of the day, they don't care. If they're not listening to it, they don't. We disagree on this.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying, because
and I understand what you're saying as well.
It went too far with what we were listening to. I think at the end of all of this, if you're going to fail, you're going to fail within yourselves. You're going to self-scout this thing. You're going to say, what am I doing wrong? What can we do to get better? The thought process that you have to be listening to the outside world to motivate you, I think is absolutely crazy. I think they're doing what they need to. And I don't know if it'll help. I don't know if they're going to get any better. And if they don't, that's on the offense, that's on Mitch, and that's on Nagy, and that's on the old court. That's who it's on. I mean, but I'll go down with that rather than sitting there thinking I should be listening to the outside world. Yes, leave the TVs on. Listen to what they're saying. Why? I don't care. It has nothing to do with my performance on the field. And if I fail, I'm going to fail because of what we're doing in this building. And if we fail, then so be it.
I think what you just said is my point. Like, don't care about the television. Like, it's gonna be within you, right? So whether you have the TVs on or TVs off should be completely irrelevant. Don't give people ammunition to go, aha, and that's my.
So what would you want him to say there?
Look, man, we're just trying to focus on what we can do. We're gonna worry about this. We're gonna worry about that. When he says we're going around the building to try and turn off the television, it's like, why? Why is that in any way, shape, or form have anything to do with how you're
preparing? I just think it's another way of saying we're blocking out the noise. I didn't.
It's such to me, it's such a flippant comment. Like, and without any context, I could see myself walking by a bunch of TVs as I go to the press conference, and somebody says, you know, how are you guys doing with everybody talking so poorly about it? And you look at it, you're like, yeah, it's just trying to get these TVs off. Like,
or just say, man, I don't care.
Quite honestly, I'd be breaking the TV, throwing stuff.
Right. I mean, but to me, I'm just trying to help him. Right. I'm just trying to help because all he's doing is giving. Because you know we just played the Ian Fitzsimmons, right? And you know how this is going to be on every show and every paper in Chicago. He's just he's putting accelerant on a fire that doesn't need to be there. That's my only point.
I don't see it that way, but listen. If other people see it that way and it is that way, then it depends on, is he listening?
Help me help you, Mitch.
No matter what he does, the only way that this fire gets extinguished is if he comes out and plays his butt off.
Which has nothing to do with whether the TVs are on or off.
Well, again, I think he's just answering a question and just saying.
Actually, you know what? That's a great. I'd like to know. Was that an opening statement? Did someone say something about that?
Right.
I would really like. I'd like to hear what preceded that comment.
I really think it is no different than 1,000 times we've heard. We're just blocking out the noise. I think he just did it in a more descriptive way, which, to your point, you're saying is giving people ammunition. At the end of the day, Jason, you're right. The only way out of this is the sweet smell of deodorant, and that's winning.
Yes,
that will cover up the stink of losing right now. That's the only way out. All this other stuff is because to sit there and say nobody listens anymore is crazy.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.